How's it going, ladies and germs? Welcome to our 80th episode of the Worldwide Wrestling Podcast. Worldwide Wrestling, the greatest podcast about wrestling in the central Illinois area. Although I am coming to you live via satellite from Atlanta, Georgia. And Jeremy, of course, is back in Illinois at the home base. Jeremy, how's it going?
Going well. Going well. Nothing to complain about. Temperature is supposed to spike in the 90s today, so not really looking forward to that. But otherwise, doing good.
All right, yeah, it's a nice 73-ish. Been right around the 73 to 77 area throughout Georgia and in this area. You know, this week it's kind of been around there. So hasn't been too bad. Today it's a little warmer. Today it's like 81, I think, or something like that. But yeah, I think it's only supposed to get over 90 one day here. But anyways, this isn't a meteorological podcast.
Let's talk about the weather.
Exactly. I feel so adult now having this just goofy conversation about the weather. Just like, oh yeah. Oh, fun stuff. So, of course, this feels like it was just yesterday. We had the Greatest Royal Rumble, and then it just like within like what was it, like 8 days or something, like 8 days,
Yeah.
9 days, something like that. We had Backlash, the first co-branded pay-per-view ever, apparently.
Yeah.
If you forget about all the big fours, before this, after the brand split and stuff. But yeah, so whatever. I'm not gonna fight on it. Like, it's stupid that they're, it's like, hey, we're back to co-branded pay-per-views. It's like the first co-branded pay-per-view, and it's just like, whatever. I'll let it go.
Yeah, it's revisionist history.
Yeah, pretty much all. That's what a lot of wrestling is. And so yeah, we had the Greatest Royal Rumble, which by and large I thought we both enjoyed, and then it was just like, golly, not even a week later, and we got another one, and so I think it will kind of be better having them all be co-branded and having them be on just once a month or something like that, unless there's like a big special thing like the Greatest Rumble or something like that. So, because like as awesome as it was, we were getting a ton of wrestling. It was just kind of becoming oversaturated. So
Yeah.
So, but anyways, so we will. Is there any news or anything? Yeah, I know I asked you before this, but I forgot already. Is there anything you had in mind that you wanted to, or anything you heard that you wanted to share with us, or is there really?
No, nothing that, like I said, it's all rumor and speculation. So I don't really want to dive into anything like that.
Okie doke. Well, I guess we can just jump right in to the meat of the show. The thing that'll probably take up the most was the actual Backlash pay-per-view itself. So, did you watch the pre-show match? I didn't know there was a pre-show match, so I didn't watch it.
I forgot there's a pre-show match, but I didn't watch it.
Yeah, I completely I didn't even know that there was a pre-show match, so I didn't watch it either. So we can just kind of gloss over that.
Sounds good.
Talk about the next thing. Okay, this pay-per-view was very strangely paced, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very very weird, uneven, the thing. The structuring of the card. I was losing my words. I couldn't think of what to say. Yeah, the structuring of the card was, that's how I want to say it, was very weird. And stuff like that. But, so it kind of had the whole show as a whole looking very strange.
Agreed.
And so that it just, so already, like, halfway through this pay-per-view, I was like, man, I feel weird. Like, just the structuring felt very weird. And so it just kind of gave me this weird feeling just because of how goofy it was. But, so starting it off, we had Seth Rollins versus The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship. a match that was 20 minutes long, but simultaneously felt like it lasted 40 minutes, and felt like it was only like 10 minutes. Simultaneously felt as half as long and twice as long as it is, which is strange. Jeremy, start us off. What did you think of the Architect versus the A-lister?
It was hands down the best match of the night. These two guys are really good in the ring together, and so yeah, it was a really good match. There's nothing that I could think of that was off about it. So it's sad that the rest of the card seemed to fall flat for me, especially since this one started off with a bang. It was a great match, really good match. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
I agree. Like I think they should have saved this for the co-main event because just of how awesome it was. It was a great way to start off, but just the rest of the show was kind of different. The show reached its peak too early with this. I didn't really hate any of the other matches, but like I felt like this one going on first kind of set set a precedent, set the tone, like, oh, all right, this is awesome, let's get it going. And then, for at least some people, the rest of the show wasn't as good or didn't deliver at all or whatever. But so yeah, I thought having it go on first was definitely a miscalculation. It almost feels like the way it almost feels like this whole card, looking at it now, it feels like it should have just been flipped, like reversed.
Yeah.
It really feels like that. But yeah, this match was awesome. It's one I would definitely go back and rewatch. It was easily match of the night. It was a great match. One of the best pay-per-view matches, probably of this year. At least on the main roster. Like it was just really good. It was done really well. And both guys just went all out and showed, everything they had. And yeah, it was just not much else I can really say about it. It was awesome. Like it's exactly what you expect a high level type match between these two guys would be. You got Miz, who's the best heel in the company probably, and then you got Seth, who could easily have a claim to be the best worker in the company, and Seth is just so naturally good in the ring that he comes off as a babyface, and then The Miz is very good in his ring psychology and, getting heat by, doing all the smarmy heel tactics and stuff like that. Like, both these guys are great with their characters. They're both great in the ring, and this match was just a perfect indicator of both of those. Like one guy is a better character guy, one guy is a better in-ring guy, but the other aspect, the flip reverse aspect of each other is just as good. And so it was awesome. Like I really enjoyed it. It was easily match of the night for sure.
Yep. Yeah. Agreed. All right. Second match of the night we have is Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
I thought it was a little too short. It wasn't bad. It had some good stuff. It had some good storytelling stuff in it. I just wanted a little bit more. I thought it was just a tad too short. Maybe tack on another 3 minutes of Nia just beating the heck out of Alexa and really kind of, I'm not the bully, you're the bully and stuff, and just kind of, people want to see the bad guy, get their comeuppance. And so I thought that they could have really done more with that, paid that more of that off in this. But it wasn't bad. It just, like I said, I think it was just a tad too short, and the ending kind of seemed like it was rushed, at least to me. Like, I mean, some people might watch it and be like, "Yeah, you're crazy. I don't know what you're talking about." But for me, just the ending felt a little rushed, and it felt like it could have been a little longer. But that being said, I didn't hate it, and I thought it was okay. It was done well. So, you?
Yeah, I like the match. I agree with you. I think there could have been a couple more minutes, probably not 5, but yeah, between that 3 and 5 more minutes. I really did enjoy Nia beating Alexa up, and I really enjoyed Alexa taking all of the spots that she took. I think there was maybe one clumsy moment, but it wasn't horrible. They kind of they came back from it. My only issue was the speech afterwards was seemed forced.
Yeah.
But other than that, I thought I don't know where they are going to go with Nia and Alexa. I know with the whole Money in the Bank thing, that whole storyline will be interesting to see who gets the Money in the Bank and who will have to watch their backs for that. So, yeah, I thought it was a good match. It didn't because Seth and The Miz was so great. It didn't detract anything. Like the steam hadn't left from that match, and so I really did enjoy Nia versus Alexa. And I felt like as I'm watching this, I'm like, okay, Backlash could be really, really good tonight. I'm really looking forward to it. Nia and Alexa did really good. Miz and Seth can do no wrong. So let's see. This might be a really good pay-per-view, but we'll see what happens from there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So.
Okay. Go ahead.
So from there, we move on to Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton for the United States Championship. Jeremy, what did you think of this here match?
Quite frankly, I don't remember it, and I don't. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Jeff and Randy are kind of on autopilot when they wrestle, which means it isn't bad. It just means that they do similar spots over and over and over again. So I don't remember all that happened in this match. I remember liking it. I just don't remember anything about it, to be honest. What were your thoughts about the match?
I really, really enjoyed it. Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton just have a really natural chemistry with one another in the ring. And I don't know if you have gone back and rewatched the match I told you of theirs from Royal Rumble 2008. It was just watching that match and then seeing this match. It's just like, wow, that's awesome. Like seeing these two, seeing how far they've come as performers and as veterans in the ring and stuff like that, and seeing how great they were and how great they still are and stuff like that. So it's kind of a cool it's almost a sequel that they do 10 years later, and you're like, I didn't know I wanted a sequel to that, but I'll go see it. And then you see the sequel and you're like, oh, it was pretty good. Like I actually enjoyed that. It's kind of one of I'm having trouble thinking of an analogy of a movie analogy, like specific movies, but like it's kind of like that. I kind of felt like that. I really enjoyed it. It was good. It had some good spots. Yeah, I mean, I can't recall too much else either. But I did really like it. It's one I'll have to definitely go back and rewatch, and kind of see the way I did it, seeing watching their match at Royal Rumble 2008, and then immediately going and watching this one. It kind of was a cool progression to see. So that's something I'll definitely have to revisit, and maybe other people should check out too. It's kind of neat. So I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and like I said, I just because I don't remember anything about it doesn't mean I disliked it. If I disliked it, I will remember it.
Mm-hmm.
and I hate that about matches. If I'm just like, this is a really stupid match, I'll remember something stupid, what it was that I disliked about it. So, yeah. Anyway, for moving on to the next match, Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
I'm happy Daniel Bryan won. But this match and this quote unquote feud just was so hastily put together, it seems, and just this match I thought would go on a little longer, and it just kind of abruptly ended, which can be really bad when they start something, and you're just like, all right, let's get the show on the road, and it's just like, I mean, it was cool to see the good guy win over the bad guy who was being a jerk and all that, but it's just like it was done too quick, and like there really wasn't much done. Like, when AJ Styles faced Lesnar at Survivor Series this past year, he methodically took out Brock's leg so he could try to use the calf crusher on him, and that paid off and it worked. And so I was hoping they would do something kind of like that, where periodically throughout the match Daniel kept going, at his leg or his arm or his neck or something and like chopping the tree down type thing. And there really kind of wasn't, it seemed. So yeah, it was done just too fast. Like it seemed like it should have been drawn out to me, and it just really abruptly ended. And it was just very, and I love Daniel Bryan, but it was just very kind of a pedestrian match. So
Yep.
So what about you?
Yeah, I agree. There are rumors that Big Cass really upset the people backstage for what he did on the Tuesday night prior to this. There's rumors that he had asked if he could beat up the wrestler, the small guy, the little guy, and they told him no, and then he went to Vince, and Vince told him no, and Big Cass did it anyway. And so the rumor is that because he did it anyway, there's heat on him backstage. And then this is one of the punishments that was dealt out, that he lost this match. Which, thinking about that, that makes a whole lot of sense. Like, there's not a whole, like you said, there's not, the storyline was, it was hastily put together. But to be honest, I think a lot of these storylines, outside of AJ and Shinsuke, every one of these storylines, and maybe Seth Miz and Nia Alexa, the storylines were put together for this pay-per-view, because the next pay-per-view we have is Money in the Bank, and I'm sure that there aren't going to be continuing storylines from this pay-per-view. And so it's almost as if they probably should have just canceled Backlash and said, you know what, we're going to work to Money in the Bank. We're not going to worry about Backlash, or not even put stories into Backlash. Like, they could have done something like a tournament to figure out on this pay-per-view, figure out who's going to go to Money in the Bank, or who's going to do what and what. So I don't know. Anyway, with that being said, that hindered this match. It could have been, like you said, a match where Daniel struggled to get Big Cass on his feet, or off his feet. But it wasn't like that. And then a submission happened. And so it's like, okay, 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay. I mean, this is pretty much where the pay-per-view kind of was falling for me. And then it kind of picked up with AJ and Shinsuke. But yeah, it was a match that didn't need to happen, but happened.
Yeah. Agreed. So now, moving on, we have Carmella versus Charlotte Flair for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Jeremy, what did you think?
It wasn't.
Uh-oh. I think we lost it.
It wasn't bad.
There we go.
But otherwise, I didn't think it was too bad. I guess I don't remember much about this match either. Anyway, what did you think?
I thought it wasn't, in terms of a match, it wasn't that great, but in terms of moving the story along, moving the character along, like getting a lot of heel heat on Carmella, I thought it was good in that respect. And
Sure.
So I understand it from there, but yeah, as a match, I don't really remember it that well, which I think, like you were kind of talking about, with Hardy and Orton, like, yeah, it's just like, it wasn't bad, I just don't really remember it. So yeah, I think just because I was kind of just like, oh, this just seems kind of like let's get some more heel heat on Carmella type thing, that I was kind of smart to that fact, or just kind of chilled, kind of sat back, didn't really pay that much attention because I knew that, or suspected that. So, but whatever. So yeah, in terms of building her bigger, her heel profile bigger and getting her more heel heat, I totally dig that. So I thought it was good in that regard.
Moving on from that match to AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a no disqualification match for the WWE Championship. Caleb, what were your thoughts?
I thought this was the best of their WWE trilogy so far.
Yep.
But once again, we don't have a definitive winner like we did in the second one, and that kind of annoyed me, just because I don't know where they're going to go. And hopefully what they're doing is great, and we'll see it, and we'll go, okay, all right, I can deal with that. That's cool. We got to this point, that's fine. Whether that will happen, I don't know. I'm not going to bet on it. But, I'll just wait to see the end result. I'll see if the ends justify the means. But where we're standing right now, I was just kind of like, okay, this match was the best of the three they've had in this feud. But other than that, like, it kind of didn't do much. Like, I did like where they both racked each other and then they both kicked each other at the same time and then fell down. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought that was well done. Yeah, I kind of just was like, oh, it's just gonna end in a no contest. It's gonna end in a double countdown or whatever. Like, I didn't really like that aspect of it, but like I said, I'll wait to find out where it goes, what the end result, what the end game for this feud is. Because I don't know, but I thought it was, but the match, at least I can say, I'm not too crazy about the outcome, but at least the match was good, and I enjoyed watching it, so I can take that away from this for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It is their best of the trilogy so far. The rumor, it sounds like the rumor is that they're going to do a last man standing match with them, which I think is pretty awesome. But from there, I don't know where they're going to go. I've enjoyed seeing these two guys together. I've enjoyed, even though the WrestleMania match was not great, their next match was good, and they just kept getting better. And Shinsuke has kept getting better, in my opinion. The whole no, speak English, and then like that whole stuff that he did on Tuesday night was really funny. But as far as the match, yeah, it was a good match. I loved the ending. I loved the setup to the double kick. Like I laughed so hard.
Yeah, me too.
So hard when they kick each other, and then when they kept replaying it, I'm just like, please keep replaying it, because they did a great job choreographing that I just I could not stop laughing. I know a lot of people hated the ending, but I really enjoyed it. I was entertained from start to finish in this match, and I hope they do a last man standing.
Mm-hmm.
If they do the whole double groin thing again, I hope they get that choreographed well. That so much so that they both land, they both fall, and then they have to restart, or like it's the first person that gets up wins or whatever. But I've enjoyed these two together, and they're kind of back and forth banter too. So yeah, I really enjoyed that whole setup. Now, looking backwards from WrestleMania, I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So okay. Key. Now we have a very impromptu, seemingly didn't need to exist tag match.
Yep.
Between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley facing off against the Yep movement of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Jeremy, what did you think?
Everything you just said. I don't really want to talk about this match. I mean, I don't know if they're setting up for Kevin and Sami's breakup. I do like that they started something with Kevin and Sami.
Yeah.
And so that's more than likely that's where they're going with this. And this match has nothing to do with Braun and Bobby. That it has more to do with Kevin and Sami's relationship. And so with that, that's fine. Yeah, it just, I'm sure we'll look back and be like, okay, that's where this storyline started. But it just wasn't good all the way through. So anyway, yeah, I agree with what you said. Any other thoughts you had about it?
Yeah, it just like it seems like it was just thrown together just because of the Kevin Sami thing. Like it seemed like it was just kind of thrown in to kind of add that aspect to their storyline. And so like I feel like that's the only reason why this match existed. And like if they did some kind of thing where it's like, you know, there was some dissension and distrust between Strowman and Lashley, that could have been cool to see that playing out also during this. But it was just on one side, and although I'm intrigued to see that, it was still kind of just like, nah. So I feel like this should have gone on first because this being the second to last match was
Yep.
because the last match, regardless of what people thought of the match, it had a big fight feel. It had a main event type feel, and like this match going on before it just kind of was weird, and like I thought this should have gone on first. It just had no place being the second to last match, but I'm wondering if there was some reason as to why this felt so jumbled. So, but yeah, that's what I think of it. It's just a storyline thing seemingly. So yeah, that's all.
All right. Yep. Agreed. Yeah. It was. Yeah. It's just a placeholder for the Bobby and Braun and yeah storyline for Kevin and Sami. So from that we get the main event: Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe. Caleb, your thoughts?
I honestly really liked this match. I honestly didn't know why so many people hated it. Like there were so many people like even Dave Meltzer, who is not um afraid to give Roman Reigns props and commend him for when he has a good match and say like, hey, you may not like his character, but he's a good worker. Don't say that he's not or can't a good wrestler. Even he thought this match was abysmal, which I thought was weird because I thought it was kind of boring at the beginning. It did have a slow burn, but when it picked up, it really picked up, and I really enjoyed it and I got into it. And I really liked it. There were some really cool spots. I liked the Roman doing the spine buster on Joe. That was really cool. I loved when Joe was setting up for the muscle buster. That whole sequence was cool. And then I like where it was just brilliant ring placement between Joe and Roman, where Joe runs at him and he spears Joe, but they're right next to the rope, and so Joe just lifts his foot up and stuff. Like the ring placement and the timing of that was really, really well done. These guys have really good chemistry together, and even though I would have preferred Samoa Joe win, I feel like neither guy came out of this bad, and so like I don't feel like either one of them would have been damaged by losing, and but I enjoyed it. I know a lot of people hated it for whatever reason, but I actually really really liked it, and so yeah, I don't know what else I can really say about it. That's just it wasn't anything spectacular. It wasn't a 5-star classic. It was just a well done match that I enjoyed. Like we all have the match where people are like that match was terrible, and it's just like I liked it. I
True.
mean, and so like I don't know why people hated it. Honestly, I thought it was just like nothing spectacular, but I thought it was good, and I thought. But anyways, what did you think?
Uh, I I loved the beginning and I liked the end. There were some really good spots towards the beginning and towards the end that were really good. I felt like the middle was super slow,
Mm-hmm.
very very sluggish. I fell for the crowd's. I fell for what the crowd was doing because I got to a point where I'm just like, come on, this needs to speed up. This needs to get going. I'm getting bored. And to be quite honest, it's part of it is two things. One, there's no story between these two guys. I mean, there was before, but they just picked it back up, and now that Joe's on SmackDown, it doesn't really. This match didn't matter at all. Joe and Roman, however, with that being said, the last couple of weeks have tried to put a good spin on it. This is the reason why it matters. It matters because you just got beaten by Brock twice in a row or whatever. And so they did their job and they did it well. It's just the match. I don't know if both of these guys put it together or if it was the way it was produced or what, but it was good beginning, or a really good beginning. I really enjoyed the whole hitting Roman before he gets into the ring stuff. I like that. I like the beginning, and I really did actually like the end sequence, short little sequence that they did to have Roman win.
Agreed.
It was just the in between stuff. It was super slow. I mean, I understand headlocks and whatnot, and I understand getting your guy to be without oxygen or whatever. I understand that, but it was too much of that.
Yeah.
I don't know if something went short during the night, and so they said you need to extend this, which I could see them doing, saying, "Hey, Joe, you need to hold him in a headlock for a long time, or whatever." But it suffered from the fact that the story just wasn't fleshed out well. They did the best they could. The fact that it was just headlocks for a majority of the time, and the fact that I think a lot of it is the fact that Roman has been wrestling Brock for the last forever. You know, he had to deal with someone who doesn't want to do a whole lot in a match, and so this is kind of his first time being in a match that you don't have to spear and take a F5 1,000 times. So while I didn't hate it, I will not watch this match again ever. It was a nothing match that went on last, and I agree with you. I think if they would have switched it, nobody would have hated this match.
Yeah.
If they switched this whole thing around, nobody would have hated the match. They would have just said, "Hey, it was the opening match. Great, wonderful. Let's see what happens for the rest of the show." It suffered from a lot, but it wasn't Roman's fault, and it wasn't Samoa Joe's fault.
No.
It was something else. So.
Yeah, it was just, I agree with you. The middle, it really did lull in the middle. And, the crowd, I hate the crowd chants, and I hate the crowd trying to put themselves over by being funny and making all these stupid chants and whatnot. That was really annoying. That just always bothers me. It's just like, oh, come on. And it's just like, and they go into a Roman Reigns match just already boo, 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 and wanting to hate it. And so when you go into something with the mindset, I'm going to hate this no matter what, and then it's not great, like I said, I enjoyed it. It did lull too much in the middle, but like, yeah, the beginning and the ending sequence, I 100% agree with you, was great. And so people just really kind of didn't take to it, and so the crowd just just tuned out, and they just didn't care. But like, I think if they like we said, just flipped the order of these matches or whatever, or even just flipped this one and Styles Nakamura or something, I don't think it would have been as bad. But
yep. Oh yeah, Styles Nakamura would have been a great match to end on. Probably not with the ending that they had, but still, yeah, I don't know. Yeah. So overall, Caleb, what would your grade be for Backlash?
Backlash, I didn't think it was abysmal like some people did. It had its up spots for sure, and it had its down spots for sure. But overall, I didn't come out of this with an awful taste in my mouth. I just kind of came out of it going, there's some stuff I liked, but there's a lot of stuff I didn't. So I would give it a C+.
I want to give it higher than what I'm going to say, but I think this is going to go down as the worst pay-per-view for the year. And even if it isn't, or even if it does, it's still not like the worst pay-per-view I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give it a C-. There's outside of the first match, there's nothing I would want to go back to watch again. And so yeah, for me it's a C-. And again, it suffered from short storytelling. It just was a filler pay-per-view that they probably should have just canceled. Because and that it suffered from the Greatest Royal Rumble too. So there's so many things going against it that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'm gonna say C-.
Okie doke. Well, That was Backlash, everybody. An average of a C rating from the both of us. Yeah, it was just kind of here.
Yeah.
So now we go from Backlash, though, and we will move on to Monday Night Rollins. Made a joke. Anyways, so Backlash is now in the rear view. We are now in the car, and we are driving towards Money in the Bank, which is coming up in June. I think June like 17th or something like that. I don't know. It's a month away.
yeah. It's 17th. I think it's 17th.
Yeah, 17th sounds right. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So it's like we have like 5 weeks or something until then. So, and they're already starting to build for it now. Like, so all right, cool. I guess I'm down with that. And so, what did you think of this week's Monday Night Raw as they are now building towards the long road to towards Money in the Bank? What did you think of this week's Monday Night Raw?
It was fine. There was a couple good matches on this episode, so I really enjoyed that. I'm trying to think. There's nothing. I'm looking at the recap. There's a lot of the stuff that they put in the recap I don't remember Hulu having.
Yeah.
Like they didn't show Ziggler and McIntyre. They didn't show Bobby Roode and an Elias match, and I don't think they showed the Leader of Worlds and Miztourage. But with that being said, I liked the opener. I liked what happened there with Kurt coming out and saying, "Hey, we're going to have Money in the Bank qualifying matches," and then Braun comes out and says, "I should be a part of it," and then Kevin coming out saying, "No, I should be a part of it." And I liked their match. Their match was really good. To be honest, Kevin. This match shows that Kevin can actually put someone over. He can actually dictate the match that needs to be shown on a Raw. And I'm not taking anything away from Strowman, but he's a big guy. He doesn't do a whole lot of offense outside of beating people up and throwing people around. And again, I love the whole running around and nailing Kevin. I love that he could do that every time. That just doesn't get old for me.
Yeah.
But I really liked the match. It was a good match. It was really good, and it set up the triple that whole segment set up the triple threat main event, which was really good too. But I'll talk about that in a minute. My favorite match was the women's qualifier. Sasha Banks versus Ember Moon versus Ruby Riott. This match absolutely needed to happen because it helped each one of those ladies. I feel like it helped each one of those ladies jump ahead in where they need to be. Because I think Ruby and I'm glad they did this match because Ruby's booking hasn't been that great, even though she took on Charlotte. And my biggest thing with Charlotte is if she hasn't been in the ring with you before, she's not always that great in the ring with you. One of the first times that she's in the ring, but Ruby can go, and each one of these ladies, Sasha, it brought Sasha back up for me, and Ruby Ember looked really really good. It was a very very good match, and then with adding the element of Bayley coming out to help Sasha towards the end, that's going to be interesting to see where that goes. My guess is that they're going to do when is it SummerSlam in
August,
Brooklyn?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which okay.
That's in
Brooklyn. In SummerSlam, I think they're going to do the blow off to that because it's in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Hey, remember Brooklyn when this match was awesome? Type thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember the Intercontinental Open Challenge. I remember him making it, but I may have fallen asleep.
It was Mojo Rawley.
What?
It was Mojo Rawley came out, and
I remember. See, I remember the beginning of this. I remember Seth coming out, and I remember Mojo was like, "Hey, I want to wrestle you," but I think I must have fallen asleep and forgot to rewind it because I watched it late at night and I was super tired.
Yeah.
So anyway, I liked the beginning of what was going on with that. The weirdest thing, which I didn't hate, but a lot of people were just like weirded out about, is Bobby and his sisters. Like the look he gives to the camera at the end. I'm gonna tell my sisters, like, I'm hoping that goes somewhere. I'm hoping that they break him to the point of like my sisters be like. Essentially, he told his stories. One sister was good to him, and he was kind of he was the protector. But the other two sisters were kind of jerks to him. Like, I hope he comes out, and I hope he's a bad guy. Like, I want him to be a bad guy because his sisters totally disturbed him. It just was really, really weird.
Yeah, the video, like the video package they aired of Bobby Lashley was really, really good.
Yeah.
That was really good, really well done, the narration, all that stuff. But then the interview was just very weird. The interview was very weird. Like, it kind of felt like intentionally uneasy. Like, is he going to turn heel or something? Like, so, but like the video was really well done. I enjoyed, but yeah, there was something kind of slightly off about the interview that made me feel like, is this kind of gonna be the catalyst for something else? So.
Yeah, and I didn't hate it. It was just weird.
Yeah, same.
I need to just a minute. I need to tell my sister something. I love you. Like, what? It was just weird. And then we got a Jinder Mahal match with Chad Gable, which was okay. They're looking to, I guess, push Jinder some more. Hooray! And then the triple threat at the end was pretty good too. I really did enjoy that. Again, putting Jinder with Roman, I don't know if that's intentional. I don't know if they're gonna try to make people like Roman because he's facing Jinder, because nobody likes Jinder either. But I think what they're gonna find out is nobody's gonna want to see this match ever, which is gonna be sad. But
what if it's like an old school Goldberg squash match? It's just Superman punch, spear, and then it's over in like 30 seconds.
See, if that's the case, that actually might help Roman. If they want to put him over as a babyface, that might actually help him if he just squashes him like crazy. So yeah, that's a good point. Anyway, I think those were my thoughts on Raw. I didn't have anything negative. I don't remember anything that I hated about it. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked a lot of that same stuff too. I agree with almost everything, pretty much. I don't think there's anything I disagree with at all. But the Jinder Chad Gable match, the one thing I really, really did like in it was that move I texted you about, because I saw it and I was like, holy crap, that was awesome. It was the moonsault crossbody into the pinning combo move, which was really cool. I haven't seen him do that I can remember. So and also I was kind of half paying attention, and I was just kind of like, it's just gonna be a pedestrian match. I don't care, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw that move and I was like, oh, okay, that was pretty cool. And so I liked that. But yeah, the main event, I agree with you. The main event was awesome. It was really good. Sami Zayn, Finn Balor, and Roman, I thought was awesome. It was really well done. Felt like a big match. It felt really cool. Really, really enjoyed it. And then, having Jinder come out, like, I've kind of don't know why I didn't really think of that. It's just like Jinder's one of the most hated heels, like, on the roster. And, like, why now that he's back on Raw, obviously you should put him with Roman Reigns, as one last attempt to turn him, to make him a viable babyface to people. And if that doesn't work, then just, do a heel thing. But yeah, I think it's an effort that they should try. They should try it. See where it goes. And I did like that aspect of it, of him getting involved and stuff like that. And so see where it goes. And I'm glad Finn won. And I can't wait to see who else ends up in that Money in the Bank match, because that'll be cool. The women's qualifying match was probably the best match. You're absolutely right about that. I liked the little kind of, the little cute, like, head nods and winks and stuff like that Sasha and Ember Moon were giving each other, just like, yeah, we'll team up for right now. And then they would turn on each other. So, like, all that stuff was great. And Ember doing the double Eclipse was cool. I'm glad she won. She absolutely needed to win this. And
Yep.
you're right. Ruby Riott did look really good. She came out looking really good in this too. And I absolutely would love to see Sasha Banks versus Ember Moon. I think that'd be really awesome to see. Did that ever happen in NXT? Because I think was Sasha already up to the main roster when Ember came in?
Yeah, Sasha was as
Okay.
far as yes, because
Okay.
she was up way before.
Okay, so to my knowledge, they've never had a match against each other. So that I think that'd be cool to see. That'd be pretty awesome. So yeah, man, I agree with a lot of the same stuff. I don't think there was anything I hated either. I wish I could have seen the Dolph and McIntyre stuff, and I wish I could have seen the Bobby Roode stuff. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty decent episode of Monday Night Raw.
Agreed. So what grade would you give it?
Oh yeah, right. Forgot about that. I think I would give it a B plus. I think I'd give it a B plus because it was really good. There was nothing I hated. All the wrestling was good. All the storyline stuff was good. But it was nothing too spectacular. But it was done well. So I think I would give it a B plus.
Yeah, I think I'd give it a B plus as well. The matches, each of the wrestling matches that I saw were pretty good, and so I was entertained. All right, going from the Raw grade to SmackDown Live. Caleb, what were your thoughts about SDL?
I really enjoyed it. Not sure if I liked it more than Monday Night Raw. It's just one of those things that I'm just kind of not sure. But gosh, I'm drawing a complete blank right now. I know I watched it because I absolutely did watch it. Oh gosh, this is gonna bug me forever.
We had a couple Money in the Bank qualifying matches. The Miz versus Jeff Hardy. Charlotte Flair versus Peyton Royce.
Thank you. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, that was. Yes, that was. Okay, and then Daniel Bryan versus Rusev. Those were the main matches. I think there were a couple other matches, but I can't remember them off the top of my head.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked Daniel Bryan versus Rusev. I thought that was a really good match. Rusev won, which I didn't see coming. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I thought that was pretty awesome. I especially liked Jeff Hardy and Miz. Can't believe I forgot about that one. You brought that up. I was like, oh yeah, that one was really good. I really liked that one. That one was good. Man, I can't believe I'm drawing a complete blank about SmackDown. Gosh.
It's probably because it wasn't necessarily. I think part of it is because it started off with Paige coming out and trying to sell how Backlash was so great, but the crowd just didn't want to have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, all right. So I thought that was. I think that's probably why, because it kind of just started off as a meh. Now we're here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mandy Rose had a match with Becky Lynch, which was pretty okay.
Yeah, I thought it wasn't bad. I was pleasantly surprised. I was just like, it wasn't bad.
Xavier Woods got bloodied by Cesaro.
Cesaro, yeah, that was a pretty good match. I enjoyed that, and that was pretty cool.
Andrade and Zelina promised that they're going to be in London this next week, so that'll be great to watch. Good to see. And then Sanity is going to be coming back soon, so I don't know when they're going to be doing that, but I can't wait to see Sanity in all of their goodness. And then the whole the backstage promo with the Bludgeon Brothers and all of those messed up toys they had. on their. It's just really silly, really funny in a way, but just toys that in different weird settings. It was kind of silly. The promo was pretty good, but it was just weird.
It was very Attitude Era, like, be disturbed, this is spooky, meh, kind of thing, where you're just like, I mean, it is kind of spooky, but at the same time, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally. Yeah. Gosh, yeah, I can't think of much else, man, that happened. I for some reason I'm drawing a complete blank. Just like I remember those matches that we just kind of talked about, but there wasn't much else that I can kind of remember. Gosh, I'm sorry. This has happened.
All right.
So yeah, what did you really like about it? What did you dislike about it?
Yeah, it's this. I don't know. I think in the just thinking about it, I think Raw was just a better show.
Mm.
There wasn't anything in this episode that I'm just like, man, that was really good. The Iconics promo work is still really good. The match wasn't all that great. Again, I think once Charlotte and the new ladies, once they've had several matches together, I think they will come up with better matches than what's being shown. I think Mandy Rose winning over Becky Lynch was really good. I'm interested in seeing where this whole Absolution storyline goes.
Yeah.
If this is just like if Paige is just being kind of silly, or if they are actually broken up. I want to know where that's going to go. So I'm interested in seeing that. The biggest thing was everybody, throwing their hats in. I want to be a part of the Money in the Bank, and so there was that. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot else. It was just Money in the Bank qualifiers, and that's pretty much it. I am interested in seeing where Daniel Bryan goes from here, because the look he was giving in the ring was very reminiscent of the same look that, similar look. It wasn't the same look that Austin Aries did before he left WWE. Not to say Daniel Bryan's going to leave the WWE anytime soon. It sounds like he's in there. He's going to be at least in WWE past his contract right now. That's the rumor coming around. So I'm interested in seeing what happens next. Because my guess is, if I would to guess, my guess was that Big Cass was supposed to win at Backlash. That's my guess. So if Daniel would have lost to Big Cass and then lost to Rusev here, where would he go from here? If he's gonna get all, where do I go from here type mentality? I don't know. He just had a weird look on his face that I'm interested in seeing where that goes. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing else that I remember that I'm like, hey, yeah, let's talk about that. So
yeah, like when I said, I'm not sure if I liked it better or not than Raw, is because I couldn't remember anything about it, because it was like there was some stuff I did remember, but yeah, for whatever reason I was just kind of drawing a complete blank, and I'm just like, but now you're reading all the stuff off, it's like, oh yeah, because it was just okay.
Yeah.
Nothing really big happened. Like Raw, was cool and had some big stuff happening. This was just kind of there. Nothing really big happening, so I guess that's why.
Yeah.
So, sorry, been catching up on a lot of sleep. We both gave Monday Night Raw a B+. What would you give this episode of SmackDown?
I'm gonna give it a C+. It just wasn't the only thing I remember was the Bludgeon Brothers. Vividly remember all the whole Bludgeon Brothers thing. I remember Xavier Woods being bloodied, and I remember Daniel Bryan losing, and Paige's horrible trying to get Backlash over, and the crowd having nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
So it was kind of it's kind of blah. So I'll give it a C plus. What do you think?
I'd give it a C because it was just kind of forgettable, and now that you were bringing up everything, we were kind of talking about it. It's all coming back to me, and I was like, oh yeah, it was kind of boring and just kind of here. So I guess I'll just give it a C because it was just kind of here. There was some cool stuff that happened in it, but nothing much, So yeah, I'd give it a C.
All right.
So. All right. Well, is there anything else?
I don't think so. It's been a kind of bland week for wrestling. Just kind of a I think it was trying to be a palate cleanser, but to be honest, it really wasn't.
Yeah.
We got some good matches on Raw and some okay matches on SmackDown. But we're like you said, we're in the car going towards Money in the Bank. I'm glad there's a lot more time in between. 6 weeks.
Yes.
From this past Sunday or something like that, until Money in the Bank. But we will see.
We will see. So, well, all right. I guess we can go ahead and call this one good. Just like you said, very bland week. I mean, as up and down as Backlash was, at least it wasn't boring. And the Monday night and Tuesday night were kind of meh, just kind of meh. So hopefully next week when we do it, we'll be more ecstatic and have more fun stuff to talk about instead of just it was here. So.
Yep.
Hopefully that will happen. So, all right, everybody, thank you for tuning in to our 80th episode. I wish that one of the big O's could have been a more spectacular episode. Alas, 80 is a boring episode. So, we will see you guys next week for episode 81, where we will discuss all the things happening on next week's Raw and SmackDown. So, thanks for stopping by. This is Caleb.
This is Jeremy.
Signing off.
Peace.